116. It's about 134. This one's about 131. That's after about 5 minutes. So wax isn't about it yet. Put a lot of light on here. So what I want to do is wait till all the wax melts. Adjusting this right now. So I want to get it so you guys can see the wax inside. And I don't have to hold this. I wanted to see what time it is because how my phone gets held, I can't see the time on it. So the one in the middle is chugging away. The one on the left side over here seems to be the slowest melting of the bunch compared to the other ones. So at this point, we're about 7 minutes into this. I want to see how hot these guys are. It's about 127. It's about 146. And this guy over here is just like putzing around. This one is 113. So this one's not as warm, but there's still some heat on top of it. At least you're not going to burn your hand. This guy, you're going to burn your hand. And we know how high this guy is in the middle. So this guy, you know, you're definitely going to burn your hand on that. This guy, even with the Velcro, it's still not overly stable. You'd have to find a better way to secure it. But you could burn yourself on that one. Definitely burn yourself on that one. And these are just cheapy tea lights. So, you know, if the tea lights put out a bigger flame, then you would be definitely hotter. This one, it's warm to the touch, but this wax is going to take forever to melt. Could also be related to wind drafts and where I'm at working with this. But that's why I wanted to run this test, because I wanted to see just how hot these guys get. Just poured the two on the ends, and just straight concrete, no cement. All wasn't anything fancy. I didn't want to see the point, because I'm not going to sell these. But if somebody wants them, they can have them. I'm not going to list these for sale. If somebody wants them, they can take them off my hands. I got about 8 of the ones in the middle made, and I mean, I'm just not thrilled with the design. If these guys came with a lip on the top that this thing would slide into, I'd feel better about it. But even with the Velcro, it's not overly stable. And you don't want this stuff going down, hit the flame, burning yourself, burning your children or something like this. This is stuff you got to debate. Even this one's not overly stable. Sure, it has the Velcro on there, but it would be even less stable if it didn't have the Velcro on it. So I think we're up to about 10 minutes here. And I think I'm going to raise this up so you can see a little bit more down. So let me pause this for a second. I'm going to get you in a little bit different angle. I don't know if this one over here will ever fully melt. The one in the middle is totally liquefied. And the one on the end is probably about a quarter of the way to go. So let's see where we're at. Let's see where we're at on the end. About at 126, 127. We know this guy in the middle is going to be screaming hot. We're at about 166, moving up to 166. We're still at 166. And this guy on the end is about 109, 108, 109. The one on the end is, I don't know if it's ever going to melt all the way. I'm going to run this till they melt all the way. Hopefully the one on the end will. The one on the middle is just way too hot right now. And this one over here on this end, it's getting there. And this guy in the middle here is like, this is what I don't like about them. Too much movement. At least this one's may never melt all the way. But I'm just going to let this just sit here and probably let it sit here for another 15, 20 minutes. So I'm just going to see if this thing ever records all, ever melts all the way. I'm mainly curious about the one on the right on this one, if this one ever melts. Or if it sits at that, it's not as bad. This one is a hazard. I'm not too thrilled about either. This one, I just don't know if it's ever going to melt all the way. So, I mean, I mainly wanted to run this test because I said I would. I'm not thrilled with the design, though, of any of these three. And if anybody wants them, they can have them. I'm not going to sell them. I'm not putting my name on them. That one's almost all the way done. That one is done. And I don't know what's going on with this one on the end here. Smooth these in a little bit more. Yeah, so these were all poured a couple weeks ago. Let them cure for a good 9 days. And then I sealed them and waited another 9 days between sealing and running this test. I want to make sure that we're fully cured. And they could come up with a better design that would give me comfort that this bowl on the top wouldn't get knocked off and fall down. This one on the end at least has a better number associated with it, but even that one is not too bad. I get these from a candle company here in town. Very happy with their scents. Their scents are really great. Probably shouldn't be burning these on top of this thing either, but so I'm standing here and I got a fire extinguisher handy. I'm not too worried about it. Oh, this is their sea salt and orchid wax melts. I'm really pleased with what they do. They got great scents. Let's see where we're sitting now with temperatures. This one's almost all the way done. And we're sitting at, I know this isn't perfectly accurate, but I'm not trying to pull up my my heat thermometer and check. So it's about 125, 26. So that one's about 126. Come on. It's a magnetic one too. So this is about 167, 168, 169. So it's maxing at 169. And this one is about 116. So 116 compared to 116 to 140 is about 24 degrees higher. And then 140 to about 175, so about 35 degrees higher on this one, the one in the middle. We're up to 17 minutes. Worst case, I'm going to cut this off at 25 because I don't think you guys want to just sit here and watch these things burn for 25 minutes. But the one on the end is finally, I think, melted almost all the way. This one's been melted. This one, I don't know if this one's ever going to melt all the way. So looking at these, this one's too close. This one's too far. That one's kind of the right. And what's funny is when you look at distances, when we look at distance to from the flame, or from the bottom, that's about 6 centimeters. This is about 10.5. And this is almost 10. So you would think we'd get a better burn off this one because of it's closer. But we're actually getting a slower burn off of this one. Because this one is 10.5 centimeters, right? About 10.5 centimeters. And this is 10 centimeters. So you would think you'd get a better burn off of this one. But, I mean, this one over here, but you're not. We're not getting a better burn off of this one. Flame height shouldn't be a major issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change where these two are. Do this carefully. Careful when you do stuff like this when you're running a test. You want to make sure, number one, you don't get burnt. Number two, you don't start a fire. So I'm going to let that sit there for a little bit. And I'm curious to see if this one cools down on the left and this one heats up on the right. But you would think that the one on the right, the big one here, would be getting a better burn off of it. So it has to be the design. It's got to be the heat, how the heat's being dissipated with this side open, this opening here, over here, it's going straight up. So the heat here is being, I guess, more directed towards the top. So let's go see what we got here now. Let's see. So this one's maxing about 113.5. And this one over here is 128. Right below 129. So the design here has to be what's impacting this, because these are the exact same key lights. They're cheap little ones from Walmart, 50 for $10 or whatever they are. Very inexpensive. So there's nothing different with the tea lights. These guys have all cured for about 3 weeks total, so there shouldn't be anything different with the cement. This one may be a little bit more on an angle, facing down how I put the Velcro. But it shouldn't make that much of a difference because they're both about the same. They're both leaning. This one just leans to the front instead of the back. And so this is why you run a test on something, because I like the design on the right better because I think it looks more stable. But it looks like it's never going to melt that wax melt. I mean, it's better, but we're already up to 20, almost 30 minutes. They've been on lit. So for them to not, I mean, in theory, you should be melting in 30 minutes. Shouldn't make any difference there. So I'm going to pull the plug on this soon. Let me see where we're sitting in the middle. This one's at 168 point, no, it's at 169.2. This is at 130. Oh, what's interesting over here is we're up to 132, 133. 133 over here now. So that's interesting. So we are finally getting a melt on that side. I picked a place where we don't have a whole lot of wind moving through it. This is sitting at 125 now. It's interesting. Okay, I'll try something. Be careful here. Got wax and wax, so you gotta be careful. I'm gonna put this guy over here. Okay. I want to see something. I want to see if the one on the left cools down and the one in the middle heats up. So we're still at 126 here. We're at 170 over here, climbing up to 171. on that end. At 144 over here. 145. So this is interesting. I don't know. My recommendation is don't sell these unless you find a way to either permanently affix that bolt to the top with something. Because this is still way too wobbly for me. To me it's hot to the touch. I would be cautious of that. That's pretty hot to the touch, and we know this one's going to be hot to the touch. Yeah. So all three of them are now hot to the touch. This one definitely. So, I mean, to tell you the truth, I don't like any of them. I like the design. The design is kind of cool. I think it has some possibilities. Would I sell these? No, because I don't think it's a safe product as is. I do like the design, but if we could figure some way to make them safer, because the Velcro is just for this test, it's not a permanent fix here. I mean, you'd have to find a way to somehow put that bowl on there, on these two anyway, where it would make it a safer thing to use, because I hate to say it, somebody's going to hit one of these one day, they're going to put their hand on it, they're going to burn themselves. And you don't want a child doing that. Heck, you don't want an adult doing that. So, personally, we're up to like 28 minutes in this video already. Personally, the designs are a little flawed in that. If they would have put this slot that they had here up here somewhere, make this a little bit taller. Same thing over here, a little bit taller, so you can just slide the bowl in. I think I'd like it better. If they had it so the design was that the bowl didn't slip all the way through to the back, because right now this thing slides all the way out and in. If it was like solid in the back, so it only slid in so far, I'd like that better for design. I mean, you can do that yourself. You just put some tape on the back of this thing and just pour some concrete in there for about a quarter of an inch, or about half a centimeter or something. You could put a little plug in the back so that one didn't slide out, but the problem is this one burns too hot. So if this one in the middle or this one on the end had a better stopping mechanism up top, I could say it's a safer product. But how it is, I wouldn't sell these. I don't, maybe use an electric bulb down here in the bottom somehow. That may be an option, but I wouldn't use a flame in these. I just don't think that they're safe based on what I'm seeing here. This one's finally done melting. I want to see where we're at. We're probably going to be about 150. We're at 149. Yeah, 149.7. So right below 150. This one's 134. And we know this one's going to be super hot. That wax melter is like totally clear now. It smells good in here though. Got three wax melters going. It smells good. So we're at 150, 160. We're at 157. Yeah, almost 157 and a half. So that's, the temperature's better on this one than the first test I ran. Makes me wonder, that's very interesting. They should have came out about the same temperature. So this one's running too hot. This one's running too hot for me anyway, the one on the right. This one here runs better, at least temperature wise. You're still going to get burnt. So, I mean, my recommendation with these is you can sell them if you want to. As you know, it's all about risk. And, but I wouldn't do it. If somebody wants these, they can have them from me. Just send me a note. Preferably somebody here in town. I can just pick them up at one of the markets, and if they want to do some testing on them, they can test and work from that point. Maybe find a better way to hold that bowl to the top. Even if it had like a pin set in the concrete on both sides and a pin drilled through the bowl on each side so it fit down on it, at least it would keep it from moving, from falling off anyway. So something along that line. Well, that's it for this. We knew this one was going to be too hot. This one's actually getting hotter as it sits here, so this one's going to run too hot. This one I think is a good temperature, but it's just not safe for me. So that's it. Okay, bye.